I can't understand why this was even something that these guys felt was necessary to do. And that is this from my Jacksonville Jaguars. Urban Meyer releases a statement, and my God, I have kind of put my ear to the streets with my other former players because everybody that I'm still in contact with my old teammates, we've kind of been talking about this today, and the sentiment has pretty much been the same. But let me read first what this statement says. It's a Jaguars official statement from Jaguars. A message for Duval. It says, hang in there with us. We're going to get better. The one thing about Jacksonville and the 904, that's the area code for Jacksonville, go to sleep knowing there's not going to be another group working harder to get this thing flipped. Urban Meyer. Ooh. And, you know, in the NFL, when things are going bad, the projection of strength, the projection of poise and confidence becomes a priority, because the one thing you cannot allow is for your opponents to see you sweat. Right. It's for your opponents to see you crack under the pressure, which is weekly in this sport. And for me, and the sentiment that I've gathered from a lot of my former teammates, is that if this needs to be said, if this needs to actually be verbalized and presented to the people of your city at week 2,
right?
During the NFL season, in week 2, then that means you are one loss away from losing the locker room.
Basically.
That means you are at a level of desperation as a coach. You don't know, you don't know what to do. That's why you're saying this. Like, this is the only thing you can put out there to cover yourself. Please just bear with us. We're going to get better. That means there is no hope for this season to be even remotely respectable. And I think that this is and I don't even, and I hate to jump on this kind of bandwagon, because I do believe that, even regardless of how bad your season starts, as a team, you just keep your shit together and you do your job and you keep grinding at it and you do control what you can control. Yep. But never have I had a coach come out and put a statement out and be like, yo, please don't give up on us.
With 15 games left.
And we just started the goddamn season, bro. Like, this is week 2. We going into week 3. You're putting statements out.
But now that I'm reading this is kind of like Tebow's statement that year.
That's what I was thinking too.
I can't remember exactly the way he said it, but he said
they lost to LSU or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, they lost.
He was like, "You're never going to see a team fight as hard as we fight. You're never going to see a team work as hard as we do, and we're not going to lose another game. I swear to you."
What were y'all doing before? I mean, were y'all not working before this, or questions that need answers?
And look, man, I don't know how much you keep up with this shit, but I mean, I keep up with the Jaguars more than I keep up with other teams. And I keep up with most of the NFL, but just, I keep up with it enough to the things that interest me and the stories that interest me that are going on during the season. But, I have been consistent since the very moment that I heard that they hired Urban Meyer to be the head coach. I said the Jaguars just allowed a sexy pick to get in the way of making a good coaching hire. And they fell for a sexy coach because of wins that he has at the college level, which, if you are an owner of an NFL team and you understand the differences between the NFL and the college ranks when it comes to winning and losing, winning and losing in the NFL is a completely different concept than winning and losing in college. In college, you as a head coach, you have the least amount of pressure on you, because you're not having to build a franchise, build a team, discover talent, make use of that talent, be able to scheme and strategize against teams that will be finding ways to put holes in your to exploit the holes in your philosophy and your strategy from the beginning to the end of the season. They will attack you. They're in attack mode non-stop.
Right.
In college, you have the luxury of having already the best players in the country.
Yeah. There might be 3 games that you shouldn't be able to just roll out of bed and win.
I mean, we're talking about a coach who started off at Utah, and fair enough.
Whatever where he's winning.
At Utah, he put together a good squad and they won games. He had cats like Alex Smith.
Yeah.
He had a guy who was a Heisman hopeful at his quarterback spot, and he won games and he got that big promotion and got to go coach at the University of Florida, a team that gets great recruits anyways. The time he was there, he had nothing but the best recruiting classes.
Right.
The best recruiting classes. And the moment that Tim Tebow was gone from there, the very next season, his heart started going bad. He's done. He's just grabbing his shit on the sideline, just heeled over, just because they lose it. Because all that talent went out the window. And a lot of the talent that he would have scooped up to kind of replenish it, it started going to Alabama and LSU because they wanted to be anti-Florida Gators. And from there, he goes to Ohio State. I mean, let's be real. If you go down the list of Ohio State like Ohio State teams from the year 2002 to 2015, you might find 50 or 60 NFL superstars in that group of players.
Yep. Everywhere you
with
look.
like 5 Hall of Famers, 5 future Hall of Famers in there somewhere. Like every year. Shit. I remember when I thought that Purdue was doing it big and we had like 11 guys get drafted out of one class and we were still second to Ohio State. They had 13. And that's like on average.
It's probably a down year for them. Shit.
And that was probably a down year. So how hard is it to be the head coach of Ohio State? Let's be honest. It's not hard to be the head coach of Ohio State, comparatively speaking, or Alabama. It's not hard. You roll with the iron fist and you win without even trying half the time. In the NFL, it is a completely different beast. And people sit here, I'm seeing people in the chat talk about Jimmy Johnson, this and that. You know what? Jimmy Johnson was not doing that Cowboys team that went 1-15 or whatever it was. That Cowboys team was still better than this Jacksonville team, man for man, talent-wise. And their losses were not like this wasn't a team that looked incompetent.
Right.
Let me just say that. This was not a team that looked incompetent. It was a team that just looked like they had a lot of young guys, and they were trying to figure out what their identity was.
Just a couple years away.
Just a couple years away. What I've seen thus far with Urban Meyer and what they're doing in Jacksonville is that one, he came into this in as the head coach, and there's a level of arrogance there that was already just rubbing people the wrong way. I've talked to beat writers, and I've heard plenty of stories from people in the organization who said that he came in this shit like his motherfucking shit don't stink. And even people who are like don't even deal with the head coach were kind of like, the fuck is he on? What does he think this is? He don't think that he doesn't think that we need to like upgrade our offensive line because he didn't get a single offensive lineman in free agency. What did the Jaguars? The Jaguars have so much more money than most teams in the NFL to spend off their salary cap. And they did nothing in the free agency market. They did nothing. But I feel like overall, because I know I've gotten long-winded here, I feel like because of his inexperience as a coach and knowing how to build a team, pick a staff, lead grown men, everything is backfiring. And now he's in a kind of a state of panic. Because you don't put this fucking statement out unless you're in a state of panic. And, I mean, usually this isn't like week 8 if you're really having problems. It's like week 8. Oh, I'm about to lose the locker room. Got to put a statement out there. Oh, God. But that's not the case. What we're seeing here is we're seeing a franchise that looks incompetent, in my opinion. And I hate to say that, and it hurts me to say that because I mean, that's where I spent my whole career. But even, you know, even in the moments when I thought that this team was incompetent, when I was there, that the management was incompetent, I never thought the players were the issue. I always thought it was the people who made the decisions who were the issue. And I don't see anything but history repeating itself in Jacksonville.